Hello there again, everybody. Welcome back to TTBurger Game Reviews. So let's get started here. Last time I took a look at Tekken 4 on the PlayStation 2 and gave it a 9.5 out of 10 due to no extra modes in the game. Today, for part 6 of my Tekken series review, I will be looking at a spin-off game to the Tekken series starring the assassin from Ireland, Nina Williams. That game is Tekken's Nina Williams in Death by Degrees on the PlayStation 2 by Namco and Project Nina, released in 2005. And before I get started here, I will say that this game was mainly called Nina before changing the name to Death by Degrees. But getting things started here, we will talk about the story. The story of the game, like I mentioned, stars Nina Williams, who was assigned to a joint operation as a sweeper between the CIA and the MI6 that consists of two sneakers, Alan Smithy and John Doe. Their mission is to infiltrate the ship called the Amphitrite, a luxurious cruise ship controlled and maintained by the criminal organization called the Comita, and execute a video recon of a meeting held by them. Nina is then assigned to enter the underground fighting tournament held on board the Amphitrite and await further instructions. After the tournament, Nina is relaxing by the Amphitrite's ship pool when she encounters a group of Comita's members. After fighting them off, two Comita executives named Lana Lay, the owner of the ship, along with Enrique Otrega, another exclusive, and then there's Bryce Adams, who is the Comita commander and Lana's bodyguard, interrupt them and shoot the members Nina is fighting. They then lock Nina up on They then lock Nina up in a room on the ship and manages to escape. They then lock Nina up in a room on the Amphitrite and manages to escape and is assigned to locate John and his GPS device. But John is found dead and Alan is on the run from security guards of Comita on the ship. With John dead, Alan and Nina must finish the missions and get off the ship safely. The story, in my opinion, here is really well done, and there is more to the story here than what I have mentioned, but I don't want to spoil too much of the story for anyone who wants to play this game. Graphically, Death by Degrees is a great looking game. The character models look great and animate really well, although there are times where the character movement can be very stiff and such. The backgrounds are also well done, and every background looks very different and very detailed. The cutscenes are the best part of the graphics and still look very detailed to this day. They almost look like they came from a PlayStation 3 game, and also the frame rate runs very smooth throughout the entire game. Sound-wise, Death by Degrees is good, but could be better. The music is the best part, and consists of rock, industrial, and ambient tracks that fit the game perfectly. However, the voice acting is not so great. Most of the voice actors sound very hammy or bored to be recording their lines.
Williams, do you read me?
I'm by the pool now. Not your typical cruise ship, is it?
This is their satellite base. Don't expect much hospitality.
Any civilians?
None. Just them.
Well, that simplifies things.
Don't do anything rash. Your reputation precedes you. Are you armed?
I'll manage. So what do you need me to do?
In order to complete the mission, we need to retrieve John's GPS device. It'll enable us to locate our targets. But first, I need you to locate John.
A GPS device?
I'll send you a map of the ship's layout. You can zero in on John's distress signal. It could be a trap, so proceed with caution. I'm counting on you.
I've located John.
Is he?
I'm afraid so.
I see. What about the GPS device?
He doesn't seem to have it.
Williams, it's a trap.
You looking for this? Never thought you'd fall for it.
Damn!
She's the champion from last night.
This one's got some fire in her. She won't be easy to tame.
I'll convert her.
Ay, you gonna mess with this one too. Que lástima.
Take her. Put her in a room. Let's go.
I just broke out of the cell. The room service was really bad.
At least you're in one piece. HQ believes that Kamieta has collapsed due to the incident on board the Amphitrite. So all that remains is...
Salacia.
Right. According to HQ, the man behind the carnage on the Amphitrite is somewhere on this island. Lucas Hayes. He's one of the research scientists employed by Kamieta. He seems to have betrayed them and broadcast that video of the exploding ship. Nina, Hayes should be imprisoned there somewhere. Locate him and acquire information on Salacia. I'm going to scout around the outside of this facility. I'm counting on you.
Mary Elizabeth McGlynn voices Nina Williams, and for the most part she does a good job, but there are times where it sounds like she's phoning her lines in and she sounds like she's half asleep at times. But the voice acting could be worse, but it could be better at the same time, but that's just me though. Gameplay in Death by Degrees is enjoyable, but there are a few things that prevent it from being perfect. For starters, Death by Degrees plays very similar to Resident Evil, where you go around looking for items to unlock doors, solve puzzles, fighting enemies, get to certain rooms to progress the story and such, and more. You will also be spending time using your print scanner to collect fingerprint data to open doors and such during the game. Death by Degrees also has a bunch of mini-games throughout the game, like Sniper Mode, which is obvious. You shoot people down with a sniper rifle while trying to protect people or to survive. You have Stingray, where you use a remote-controlled device to access certain areas to open doors, to record conversations, among other things. Also, you have Honeycomb and Lock Puzzle, which are used to unlock certain LCD cases throughout the game to get weapons, ammunition, health, and more. In my opinion, this works really well for a game like this, and I don't have a problem with it at all. The controls are good, but there are a couple problems with it. To start off, you move with the LT button, aka the left analog stick, and the circle button lets you run. The square button brings up your map, but then again you can press the start button to open up the status screen and you can select the map right there. The X button is your action button that can be used to open doors, activate switches, pick up items, and more. Holding down the R2 button changes the camera to a behind the back camera mode that can help you find items and stuff since the camera angles are fixed. When you are in combat, this is where the controls have problems. To attack enemies or use your weapons, you have to flick the R3 button, aka the right analog stick, in any direction. To do throws, you must first grab an enemy by pressing the R1 button, and while holding the R1 button, press the right analog stick to throw an enemy. You can also strangle enemies from behind with the R1 button as well. The L2 button lets you perform a critical strike when your focus gauge is full, and you can use this to take a big chunk of the enemy's health away, and this is very helpful during boss fights and such. The problem I have with the controls is that using the right analog stick for almost everything in the combat takes time and takes a lot of time to get used to, and it's very cumbersome when you have to use the same button for almost everything. I mean, there is no reason why all the attacks should be used with the same button. Also, using weapons are pretty much useless. Sure, the melee weapons are fine, but the guns are impossible to use because it's hard to hit enemies with them because it doesn't aim correctly, and you end up wasting ammo and most of the weapons only hold like 30 bullets and such. Another problem with the gameplay is that there's no in-game map at all, so you'll be spending time pausing the game to look at the map, and this will get annoying after a while because you have to look at the map over and over again to be sure you aren't getting lost. And on top of that, Death by Degrees' difficulty is all over the place, and some parts it can get extremely hard for no reason whatsoever. The worst problem here with Death by Degrees is that it loads way too often. Almost every time you enter a new room, trigger a cutscene and such, it has to pause to load. Now this may not seem a big deal, but the load times are a lot longer than you think. And if you played this game, you know how annoying the load times can get. And this is a PlayStation 2 game that came out in 2005. There is no excuse for all these load times here. Also, when you beat the game, you unlock the Anna mode, where you play as Anna Williams and you spend time collecting fingerprint data from bodies of Tekken forces and such. You will also unlock Sniper mode and Honeycomb Puzzle Challenge mode that need no explanation. Also, this game comes with a playable demo of Tekken 5, but I never played it because I got this game after getting Tekken 5. Besides that though, there isn't much else to say about this game, except that it is an okay action game that has problems in it that prevent it from being better. Due to the problems that are in the gameplay, I can only recommend this game to hardcore Tekken fans and fans of Nina Williams. And those of you who never played Tekken before, I recommend trying other Tekken games before this. And as for my final rating, Tekken's Nina Williams and Death by Degrees is an okay action game that could have been a lot better. Those of you who are Tekken fans and fans who want to play as Nina in an action game, here's your chance. I give Tekken's Nina Williams in Death by Degrees a 7 out of 10. Stay tuned for the grand finale as I will be looking at the final game of my Tekken series review, Tekken 5. This is Tony, aka TTBurger88. Peace out and see you all in part 7.
December 5th, 1945. Weather conditions fair. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Flight 19 departed from the U.S. Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale on a routine training flight and headed east over the Atlantic. At approximately 1900 hours, all contact with Flight 19 was lost. This region, roughly bound by the Florida Peninsula, the Bermuda Archipelago, and the island of Puerto Rico, has been the site of over 100 disappearances. The Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Sea. 12 of these mysterious regions purportedly exist throughout the world.
The surface of the water looks strange. It's as if we're above the clouds.
Out of my way!
Williams. I'm Alan from MI6. This mission is a joint operation between the CIA and MI6. We'll infiltrate the Amphitrite, a Glyphera Corporation cruise ship, and execute a video recon of a meeting held by high-ranking members of a certain organization. Our team consists of 2 sneakers and 1 sweeper. John and I will attempt to infiltrate through the port side deck. You will enter the underground fighting tournament being held on board the ship, and then hide yourself and await further orders. Upon mission completion, we'll rendezvous and make our exit. With any luck, we won't need your help, but if the time comes, we'll be counting on you, Sweeper.